What would you do if you were drowning in debt, both business and personal, while the love of your life was diagnosed with a rare illness requiring life-threatening surgery? What would you do if your electricity and water were cut off in the sweltering heat of summer? What would you do if you had no money left to buy food for the coming days? And what would you do when the very people you thought would stand by you, your so-called friends, even some of your relatives, turned away and treated you like an embarrassment? For many, these are the kinds of nightmares you hope you'll never face. But these weren't just hypothetical questions. This was our reality. This was my reality. I remember the day my wife Leonie and I stood outside our home. The keys slipped from our hands as the door clicked shut behind us. The house we once opened with pride now looked back at us like strangers, and all we carried was the heavy, crushing uncertainty of tomorrow. Even before we lost our home, life had already begun testing us. Debts piled up relentlessly. Every phone call, every overdue notice was a reminder of failure we couldn't escape. Then the lights went out, the water was cut off, and perhaps the hardest moments were staring into an empty fridge, wondering how we would make it to the next meal. And in the midst of all this came the greatest scare of all. Leonie was diagnosed with a rare illness that required a critical surgery on a vein near her brain. It felt like everything was collapsing at once. Our finances, our health, our relationships, our hope. But it was in that season of brokenness that I learned lessons I never would have discovered in comfort or when things were easy. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, and I quote, "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort, but where he stands in times of challenge and controversy." If this is your first time here, my name is Val Pianco, and I create content to empower people to rise above their challenges and live with purpose. Today, I'm sharing one of the hardest chapters of my life and how I turned my pain into power. I want to share with you the three principles that helped me turn my pain into power, and they might help you too. The first principle is acceptance. For a long time, I fought reality. I kept asking, why me? Why us? But the pain only grew heavier the more I resisted it. When I finally accepted where I was, homeless, broke, scared, I found something surprising. Peace. You see, acceptance doesn't mean giving up. It means you stop fighting the fact that life has changed. And once you do that, you will start to see the bigger picture. That every season, even the painful ones, can serve a purpose. You know, there's a story that never fails to inspire me. The story of a man once called the most successful failure in American politics. A man who lost again and again, yet refused to give up. From the year 1832 at just 23 years old until 1858 at 49, his life was filled with almost unbearable failures and setbacks. He lost his job when his family's farm struggled. He lost his first run for the Illinois state legislature. He went into business with a partner, but the business failed, leaving him buried in debt for years. Then came heartbreak. The woman he loved died of typhoid fever, sending him into a deep depression. He suffered a nervous breakdown and was bedridden for 6 long months. When he tried to rebuild his life, he lost his bid to become Speaker of the Illinois House of Representatives. He was defeated in his nomination to the U.S. Congress. After finally serving one term in Congress, he failed to win re-nomination. He applied for the position of Commissioner of the General Land Office and was rejected. He ran for the U.S. Senate and lost. He sought the vice presidential nomination and was defeated again. Failure after failure. Defeat after defeat. But in 1860, after 27 years of disappointments, losses, and heartbreaks, this same man was elected as the 16th President of the United States. His name was Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln's story reminds us that no defeat is ever wasted. Every failure you endure, every door that closes, every heartbreak you survive, they are not signs that you're finished, but you are being shaped. The second principle is faith and inner strength. In those storms, I discovered that when everyone else turns their back on you, God never does. Friends may leave, even family may walk away, but God remains. Oh, one verse that carried me was Isaiah 41 verse 10, and I quote, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not afraid, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." You see, faith reminded me that even if I had nothing in my pockets, I was not empty. Inside, there was still strength. There was still hope. The third principle is action. Pain tempts us to stay down, to give up. But small steps forward can create momentum. Even when we had no house and no money, I started taking one small action each day to rebuild. It could be as simple as making a call, sending a message, or finding a way to put food on the table. And every small victory reminded me, pain can crush you, or it can fuel you. The choice is yours. So did the problems vanish overnight? Of course not. But little by little, began to shift. Our life began to shift. Leonie's surgery was successful. We began to rebuild our finances, and most importantly, together, we grew stronger inside. I realized that sometimes rock bottom is the solid foundation you need to build a stronger future. Pain did not destroy us. It reshaped us. It gave us a story that today I can share with you. If you're walking through pain right now, I want you to know you are not alone. Your story is still being written, and your struggle today could become the testimony that inspires someone tomorrow. I'd love to hear your story. Share it in the comments. Your words might just give strength to someone else who's watching. And if this video encouraged you, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content on empowerment, resilience, and living with purpose. Remember this, your pain does not define you, but how you rise from it, that's what will inspire the world. If this helped you, hit subscribe and check out my book, The Breakthrough Mindset, for more tools to break free and live empowered. See you next time, and never forget, always live an empowered life.